Hi, it's Cindy here from Your Kids OT. Thanks for joining me here, as today I'm going to be showing you how to use a ruler in your occupational therapy sessions and why I like to incorporate it into my sessions. I'm also going to be showing you my latest printable, which I will have free on my website. So make sure you check out the link in the description box for this latest printable. This will be a great one for you to use with your middle school children, and I'm going to go into more detail about that printable later in this video. So why a ruler? Well, a ruler requires bilateral coordination, using both sides of the body together. It requires one hand to hold the ruler stable, usually the non-dominant hand, and the other hand to draw the lines. Now, a child will need to be able to cross the midline when they use the ruler. They'll be able to need to show some stability. And this coordination of both sides of the body is really important for lots of different things that children do every day. They need to be able to use their cutlery with both sides, both hands. They need to be able to write and use scissors, often requiring one hand to be the helper and one hand to be the worker. So using a ruler is a really functional, easy way to incorporate skill development in your therapy sessions, or even just at home if you're watching this as a parent. You can start with helping children to feel the lines that they make when they bump the ruler. I use that expression quite a lot, where I'm encouraging children to bump the ruler. So you can start with simple lines such as just straight vertical lines, where you can bump the ruler as they move from one side to the other. You could also encourage children who are learning to write on the line to be able to bump the ruler again as they write on the line. So I'm going to write, this will be upside down for you, but I'm going to write on the line using the ruler to support my writing. I'm just going to wiggle back a bit so you can see a little bit more. So you can use the ruler as well to create different patterns. So I'm just going to get my ruler here. You might be encouraging the children to work on their midline, so that's the imaginary line that runs through the center of their body, and you can get them to draw a line up and down. We could continue to move the ruler around and make more patterns. Etc. This is a good warm-up activity if you're going to do some writing with children but want to start with something that is engaging. I also like to just work on patterns that might build on size. So we might find the dots on the line and try and work on even spacing, even peaks. So we could do some triangles in there. Or if you've got a slightly older child, you might also like to work on high and low, high and low, high and low. Bumping the ruler the whole time to encourage them to really feel the response, I guess, when the marker or the pencil hits the ruler. Now for some children, it can be really beneficial to put that ruler on their writing page. So when they are forming letters, that you put the ruler down. Now I've got some other suggestions. For older children, you might like to use the ruler to draw shapes and then challenge them. So you could say, use the ruler to draw a square if they're little, but also how many triangles can you make in that square, and then challenge them. You know, you could say, could you make 4 triangles in that square, and ask them to move their ruler around until they create 4 triangles. 1, 2, 3. Oh, where could we put another line? Yes, we could do it there, but how about we also do it there? This is my printable called Ruler Art, and in this set of printables, children can draw straight lines with a ruler to create parabolic shapes. I've got instructions on the printables as to what you can do, but you can also experiment. So even within a circle, you can start at different points and create different patterns. You can also experiment with colour. So I'm just going to show you in this video what you need to do. I have a really simple pattern here that has a series of coloured dots, and it's just a matter of matching the colours. So you can start with the texture, and I try to find the centre of the circle to create the lines. So I've created this first one to be quite simple and can be used for children who are quite young. But the ones that I just showed you would be appropriate even for middle schoolers to do. So as the straight lines are formed, the parabolic curves are created. And what I found is that the fatter the line, the less distinct the curve is, but it's a good place to start with young children to use markers or pencils to start with. So here we go with the first one. You can see that a slight curve is made. I also have a black and white version. So with most of the printable pages that I have, I encourage you to start with joining the blue dots and then progress down the vertical axis and across the horizontal axis. And you can play around with adding more dots or shrinking the page and creating smaller patterns. But I'll just do this quickly. And what I've found is that even if you make a mistake and you lose track or you miss a dot, it's okay. It will still have a good effect, and it doesn't need to be perfect. But as I said before, children might like to experiment with different colours, different coloured pens. This is not sponsored in any way, but my favourite gel pen is the Papermate Ink Joy gel pen. I just love them because they don't smudge easily. I can keep drawing or writing without much of a smudge. See, I missed a dot, but it still has a great effect. Children, you might like to use stencils rather than a ruler. They'll be really rewarding as they can form the shape of the picture really easily by trying to bump the edges of the stencil that achieves the same thing as a ruler does in terms of bilateral coordination, and using one hand as the helper and one hand as the worker. But for older children, use a ruler, grab it out of the pencil case and make some patterns, do some pre-writing warm-ups, or even grab my free printable and make some ruler art. Thanks for joining me here again. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video if you enjoyed it or found it helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks, bye.